Hey Randy, you may be able to tell by my voice that I've got a cold, but I couldn't let that get in the way of my Yoda building. On to bag 2. Since there's a lot of coronavirus panic going on right now, I'm extra aware of my germiness at the moment. I haven't been to Wuhan, so what I have is just the regular common cold. But still, there's a lot of attention right now to illness and cold symptoms. In a very populated place like New York City, the mass germophobia is amplified. You can't get around without taking public transportation, and on the streets of Manhattan, you're going to walk through air that's been in and out of thousands of people just in the past few hours alone. Of course, contagions aren't unique to the big city, Randy. Viruses would usually make their way through the whole school back when we were growing up. Anywhere people congregate is going to be a focal point of spreading infection. One thing that was new to me when I moved here was encountering people in public wearing medical masks. Even when there isn't Wuhan panic in the news, you'll probably encounter someone with a mask on the subway at least once a week. My first thought was, gee, that person is really paranoid about germs. I assumed they were wearing the mask for their own protection, that they just assumed every subway car would be full of influenza, smallpox, and rabies. But later I realized most, if not all of these mask wearers were people who themselves had an illness or were getting over one, and they were wearing the mask to protect others. Of course, with the coronavirus fear, a lot of people are wearing masks in public right now as a precaution. But typically when there isn't global anxiety over a spreading disease, the people in masks are just being considerate of others. It's a shame, though, that they can't stay at home. The reality of our work culture is that most people go into the office contagious, even though doing so probably costs us a ton in productivity. The sick person may not be at their best, but more importantly, they likely infect several other employees and customers who go on and spread that disease exponentially, resulting in more and more sick days and productivity loss. So it probably would be better if employers demanded workers with the cold or flu stay home. Better for the company, but also better for society. And that's what I usually try to do. If I'm sick, I could just stay here in my Lego room putting together a Yoda or something. The cold, sterile plastic of Legos is probably not the best habitat for germs, but more importantly, it keeps me inside away from others. It's particularly difficult when you're married and living with someone, though. So far, Amazing Grace hasn't caught it, but it seems almost impossible to protect her from a cold I get, since we're around each other so much. She hasn't quarantined me to the Lego room yet, and unless she does, I guess the best we can do is not share a bowl of ice cream. I'll just have to eat the whole thing myself. See you soon.